Our hope anchors our soul. What do I mean? What does an anchor do for you? You see, an anchor keeps a boat from drifting, correct? And if you have a boat and you bring it into its mooring, its docking, don't you need to anchor it? Don't you need to hold it? Because why? There's a constant current that's going on. And if you don't anchor your boat, you will eventually drift away. You see, and God is speaking to some of you today because really you've been drifting in your faith. You've been drifting because you're not anchored in your hope. Why? Because you're living more for the present life than for the life to come. You're not continuing to keep a Christian worldview, which is the understanding that we live more for just the life that we live in now. We live for eternity, that we need to set our affections on things above and not alone on the things of the earth. That there is an eternity that God has created, that God has made for us who love Him, that God wants us to remember. There's a reason in this life that we can stay steadfast despite all that's going on around us. But some of you have been drifting. Some of you need to anchor in your hope. Because why? Look at this. Look at this. It says in Hebrews chapter 6 and in verse 18. So God did this so that there are two immutable things in which it is impossible for God to lie. See, God makes the assurance to us by two immutable things. God began it. He's made the promise, and He is not a man that He would lie. Why can we have hope when there's nothing around us that stipulates or affirms that hope other than what God says? Because God said it. There are two immutable things in which it is impossible for God to lie. That what? That we who have fled to take hold of the hope offered to us may be greatly encouraged. We have this hope as an anchor for our soul, firm and secure. You see, an anchor, what else does an anchor do? It keeps you from drifting, and too often, that's the way the enemy tries to work in your life, to get you to just drift off. And next thing you know, you're living in the world system and you don't even know what you believe anymore. You don't even have a full confidence of what the future holds for you. But God says, let the anchor hold firm. Get your hope settled. Let it be the anchor of your soul. Because why? There are other times we live in a turbulent world where so much batters us from day to day. See, an anchor holds a ship steady when there is turbulence in the sea. And we live in a world that is so turbulent. There is so much uncertainty, economic uncertainty, security and safety concerns for our land, governmental concerns, all of the rest of what's happening in our world can batter us and cause us to wonder or even doubt our faith at times. Unless you got your anchor held firm, then your soul will be cast like this, like in the beating of a ship. It will attempt to throw your life against the rocks and destroy your very faith. It will attempt to beat you into the sandbars of life that will destroy what God is doing in and through you. But you can understand that there is a hope. There is a confident expectation of a favorable outcome when I will allow my hope to be rooted in Him.